goes to show, right? We're moving away from that the cash. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Pioneers Pathway Podcast. As always, you've got me for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and also joined by Sharia. How are you doing, Sharia? You all good?
Yeah, I'm all good, Leo. It makes it seem that, listening to our podcast is torture. I thought people loved it.
No. It's what we try to do is we try to provide a condensed but informative clip and episode, right? We want people to be able to get the information, get the views and the opinions as quickly as possible, right? And that's what we're good at, aren't we?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, there's no point us bagging on about a topic when we can, get to the crux of it in about 5-10 minutes, isn't there?
We know. Life goes by quickly, and time is a very, very valuable asset for everyone. So we want to be a good service for everyone, right? And interestingly enough, we've got quite a cool topic to talk about today, right? Looking at the cashless society, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I carried cash. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I know. I carry around very, very small bits of cash, maybe 10, 20 euros at the most. I never carry coins. And it's quite funny. We were at a arcade bar, and with the arcades, we needed coins because they were all very old coins, and none of us had any coins. None of us had any coins, so we had to go and find a quick ATM down the street to be able to get some coins, right? And it just goes to show, right? We're moving away from that the cash is king. Looking at sort of having that cash, and it's all digital, right? And it's good in some sense, right? It's I can always remember when people would say, "Ah, my wallet got lost. I've lost all of that cash." But now if that happens, sadly, you just cancel your cards online and you're sorted.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I have a personal anecdote of mine from yesterday itself, actually. So yesterday I went to go put some air in my car tires, and I wanted to give the guy who's doing it a tip, but I didn't have any cash on me, right? So in India, you have something called Paytm, which basically what you do is everyone has a unique QR code, their unique ID, and that's how you transfer money. You transfer money through your phone. It's done in the span of literally a second, right? So I asked him, I said, do you have anything I can, give you money? Can I, Paytm you? And he literally just pulled out his QR code out of his pocket. So it's literally the expectation now that even if you want to tip someone, you do it through your phone. You don't really, carry cash around. And that really goes to show how we've, changed and the power of these
That's interesting.
devices.
It's interesting though because when I was in Sweden, I lived in Sweden for 10 months. They had that as well. It was called Swish, and you used to have this QR code, and you could just swish someone money. And we used to do that when you used to go to a shop. They would have like a QR code, and you could just do the transfer, easy, all done, right? It's interesting because here in Spain they don't have that. That's not a thing, and in the UK it's not a thing as well, right? And I don't know why, because big countries are doing it, and it's you're safer. But it's also just so much more convenient.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even in the USA, you've got multiple payment options which don't involve you having to, give someone cash, right? So obviously you have Google Pay, you have Apple Pay, but now you also have Cash App, and there's one more. I can't remember the name of it, but Cash App have a very prominent competitor. But the point being is that, the value of cash, in a sense, has sort of gone down. I mean, I think there's a stat out there that 99% of our money is digital, right?
Yeah.
And this is just boosting it. We only have 1% of actual physical cash out there. And, all these different methods, like I said, are just boosting it. That way, we're going into more in terms of fractalization, aren't we?
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, I would say though that well, in the past we've had issues where technology has not been as accessible, and that's when this is run aground and there's been issues. I'd say over time, more people are getting access to online bank payments, phones, and those online systems, so they can do that. But there's still an issue with sort of the older generation. I remember trying to talk to my grandparents about like doing bank transfers and things like that, and that's still an issue. So there's sort of still teething problems in this whole sort of shift.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, it's sort of a generational thing, right? So think about kids these days, right? The ones who literally just Generation Alpha, I think they're called. They've grown up with
Yeah,
iPads in their hands. They've grown up with technology from literally day one. So for them, when they come to our age, this will be absolutely nothing. When, if we look at
yeah,
the
yeah,
current, the older generation at the minute, they were grown up with that regime of no, you do everything, the old school way, brick and mortar banks, all of that. So that's what they're accustomed to. They've seen all these things, they hear about all these scams and issues in the media, and because of that, obviously they naturally have that fear. But obviously the younger generation, to them, all these things are just a minor problem. You think about the number of transactions that are occurring daily. There's bound to be a problem somewhere in the world. So it's sort of, taken with a pinch of salt. But for the older generation, they think, oh God, we've got a larger sum of money compared to the younger generation. That's why we want to go down the traditional route. So it's quite interesting to see, the generational divide. And obviously, when we get to that age, which, is very far down the line, but I'm sure there'll be some technology out there which we'll be skeptical about.
yeah. No, exactly. Educating and making people more aware, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And it's educating
Absolutely,
them is just
absolutely. Could you see a I was just gonna just bear with me for one moment. I was just gonna ask, do you see a time when there will not be cash? The banks won't print cash anymore. Do you see a time when that's gonna happen?
I don't think we'll ever have a time like that. I'll be brutally honest, right? And the reason being is that a lot of societies still, have a lot of black money in circulation, right? So in that sense, and all of this is to avoid taxes. End of the day, it's all there. It's well known, right?
Yeah.
And the reason being that I think it won't go away is because of that being the main reason, right? If you could do all these
Okay.
informal transactions off the book to avoid paying taxes, why would you not? Right now, I'm not advocating for
Yeah.
tax evasion. HMRC, don't come after me, please. But there's
Mhm.
no denying that this is definitely, so that's been there for a number of years and will carry on being there. Now, whilst I think
Yeah.
we'll shift to a greater majority of transactions and all these things being done online, I don't think there'll ever be a point where cash is completely eradicated. Because say, for example, we have a complete wipeout, right? Right now, 99% of our cash is digital. So now say all of there's a huge cyber attack, hypothetical, completely hypothetical. The entire, 99% is wiped out. What do? We're left with nothing. So we still need something
Mm.
out there.
Yeah. No. No. Exactly.
And another
Yeah.
point
No.
being
No.
is
Exactly.
central banks, they do a lot of these, physical trades still, right? So in that
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah. No.
if
Well. They still trade. We've still got gold reserves. We've still got all of these reserves, right? And it's for a reason. It's for a reason to maintain that stability and diversifying that stability.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So in that sense, I don't think, long story short, I don't think we will ever have a case where cash is completely eradicated.
Okay, no, that's interesting. That's interesting. So yeah, no, I'll turn it on to our listeners and viewers. If you have any thoughts on this, if you have any views, let us know. Tell us, well, what do you think about this issue? It'd be really good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely.
no, no, but yeah, I think that this has been a really, really interesting topic. I probably can spark off a lot of other ideas and a lot of other subtopics as well. So hopefully something we'll re-engage with further down the line.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, if you're an economist or you do have, any strong views on the subject, again, reach out to us. Our email is always in the description. But for now, thank you for listening.
Thank you guys. Thanks.